And we're back with another episode of Let's Play House Flipper. I'm your host, the RPG Guy. And let's take a look as we got two houses left. The Alone Home and House on the Moon. Both of these ranging in the $400,000 range. We're of course going to do the Alone Home house. And it's 3 floors of house. And it looks like they really did try to go for the design. But we'll take a look here. We'll buy the house. And we'll head on over. So this is their attempt at the Home Alone house. There may be not much for us to have to really do, so keep that in mind as we work on this home. We'll have to see, because it looks like it's going to have the property damage that Kevin McCallister did, I believe is the character's name. They're missing the garage, though. But it should probably have the damage that Kevin McCallister did when the bad boys were trying to break in. There's a pizza box. There's the basement. Again, checking the perimeter of the house to figure out if there's anything we need to do. This doesn't look like Kevin McCallister Street at all. Alright. Okay, so there might be a blown fuse. The destroyed toy cars. There are the paint buckets. Can you imagine being hired in to do that, to fix all this? You know, let's go to the basement first, because clearly the fuse box will be there. And heaven forbid it gets dark and we can't see anything. It was probably just a dirty basement anyway. Oh, I was gonna say it wasn't allowing me to grab the crowbar for some reason. Seems to be stuck. Oh boy. Alright, let's see. It was a bad outlet. Which we can't get to because this is all in the way. I don't really care about the shelf. Okay, so we should have lights now. We now have to clean the tar up. So this might just be like just a duty fixer, really. Okay, so that door leads there. This is the kitchen, because we don't want to change much of the house. Like how it's got the tube TV from back in the day. You know, it's hard to explain to young people like what it was like to watch TV back then. So many of them are like, "Oh my God, it looked so terrible." But it's like, no, it didn't. It looked good for the time. You didn't have anything better to really compare it to. So they're not fair. They're not fair equations. You know, they're not parallel things. It's not debatable. Because there was nothing, you didn't have high definition back then. And even when it first started coming out, there were high definition tube TVs too. A lot of people always found that interesting when they look up like the high definition tube TVs and why they didn't really make it. Alright, so this looks pretty good. This is just a tidy up quest for the most part. I mean, oh God, yeah, that's right. Where he cooked, what's his name? Joe Pesci. With the fan. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's a good time for me to give you guys an opinion. But they just don't make movies and shows like they used to. And I really mean that too. They really don't. You can't. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, you can't remove the feathers. Anywho, it's just one of those things that's always kind of been on my mind about, like, we talk about good movies and stuff, and somebody said, well, it's easy for you to complain because it's always a matter of you always have had it. And I'm like, or like, it was invented in your generation. I'm like, no, good movies have been around for a long time. And a lot of movies have been retold many times. There doesn't seem to be much in here except that. There we go. Piano. I don't know. I just don't know how else to describe, like, the complaint that people have when it comes to, oh yeah, the ornaments where, oh God, what's his name? The other burglar comes through the window and steps on all of it. Yay, toasty boy. Oh, we gotta do them all. But it's like, and to be fair, Home Alone was lightning in a bottle because they tried to recreate that same feeling with Home Alone 2 Lost in New York and they never did it. It's the same thing with the Ninja Turtle movies. Like, the first one's really good and then the other ones are kind of equally terrible. It was not a matter of doing it first, it was a matter of doing it right. And, I mean, to be fair, they did it right. Oh, a piano was something maybe we could have put down there. How am I going to get to that outlet without having to move the piano out of the way? And I'm going to have to move the piano. So, like, my criticism of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was that it was actually really good. My parents didn't care that Raphael said damn 3 times in the movie, whereas other people's parents freaking cared. Because that came out in, like, 1990, so that would have put me in roughly first grade. Or even kindergarten, somewhere in there. And damn was not considered by most parents to be a bad word, unless you were a religious parent, maybe. Which my parents were not. They considered damn to just be a word, and the context of it was what made it good or bad. You know, because my parents weren't psychotic. Well, my dad and my mother are psychotic in their own ways, but they're the good kind of psycho. The kind of psycho that, you know, makes sense. Alright, so we did the downstairs for the most part, except for whatever these little dots are. Which I think is coming in from upstairs, so let's go up there. So that's where Kevin's room should be. What's in here? Okay, just a closet. What's in here? This is the main master bedroom. Saving. It's creating a safe. room's rather clean. I don't remember the bathroom only looking like this. It almost seems kind of naked. Those do look like the sinks, though. I will say it is a nice bedroom. Okay, this should be one of the kids' rooms. No mirrors in this bathroom. Okay. A room that leads to nowhere, probably because in the game, in the show, or rather the movie, we didn't know. This is clearly Buzz's room. Sans the atrium that held the spider. Another one of the kids' bedrooms. Now, the issue with this room is this is supposed to be Kevin's room, but I believe Kevin lived in the attic. So, that's a little different. Which is fine. Again, it's a pretty faithful adaptation of the McCallister home. It's not the worst thing ever. And to be fair, it's like the McCallisters. Did they ever explain what the dad's job was, or the mother's job was in that movie? Because those fuckers, to have a house like this in Chicago, had in '90s Chicago had some freaking bank. That's for sure. They were lock, stocked, and loaded, baby. Oh hey Buzz, your light bulb's out. So it makes you wonder. There's really not much I want to do to this house because it's such a nice house. I would own this house and leave it the way it is if I owned it. The only rooms I might change are the 4 rooms. This wallpaper is a bit dated. That's about it, though. The rest of the house is quite nice, and this wallpaper would probably have to go too. But I like it. I mean, it's a bit nostalgic, of course. But it's just one of those things where it's like you don't want to mess with it because you want to preserve it. Even this wallpaper is not offensive at all. Really, this room, it looks nice. It's a nice color. And then these 2 rooms could have the wallpaper change. I like this room, though this looks a little old and beat up, but it is what it is. I mean, we cleaned up after Marv and the other guy. Larry, was it Marv and Larry? Or Eddie? Was it Eddie? I don't remember. But yeah, this is a nice home. We're not going to dwell on this too long because there's really not much to do. Unless I want to change everything. And I kind of don't. I'm sorry, guys. I really like this house. The way that it is. And it's, we're not putting a pool in. So, as far as I'm concerned... Hey, look at that. We got some credit and we didn't even do anything. So let's put it on auction. So, we spent, let's just say, $44,000 on it. Let's see what we get. We're actually getting a good turnaround here. We still made $119,000 and we didn't even do anything. Except clean up. So that gives you an idea that the cleaning up's a big deal. Let's see if we can get a little bit more out of them, shall we? Get a stiff 150K at profit. Yeah. So I know that was maybe disappointing for some of you, but again, why do I want to change the McCallister home? It's such a wonderful home. Let's just clean it up. I would live here. I would openly be okay with the leaving, even if I left the whole house the way it was by contract. Like, I got this house for free as long as I did not remodel the house, other than to put in things like air conditioning. If that was the only condition, I would totally love this house. I would totally take this house. I don't know why they're showing us this. What are you really going to add to the yard? So I guess what we're going to do is just go right to the last home, which again, who knows what we can do to it. I hate to say if there's not much we can do other than clean it up, then we'll just clean it up, but let's take a look. That was interesting. All right, house on the moon for almost $500,000. We got a big house on the moon. We got a big house on the moon. It's kind of weird that we're cleaning it here, but we got a house on the moon. And it's kind of Futurama-esque in the sense that it's in the way that it's covered, except it's not a dome. Okay, so no gravity. Where's the official opening? Ooh, fancy. Is there no official door? Looks like we gotta clean some of the stone. Or rather, not stone, but the paneling here. It's funny how this water is working in space! It almost seems like our upgrades are ineffective here. Everything's taking a lot longer to clean. I like how one guy's comment about the improvement is, what crap? I have an impression this is just another cleaner, because do we have things that we don't have anything space-wise to put in here, other than from the cyber one, the cybertech one, and I even think in that regard it's not going to do much. So I think this is just another fixer-upper, much like Master Roshi's Kame House. There's just, you don't want to change anything. Why would you want to? It's so awesome to leave it the way it is. Just clean it up. Yeah, it's really hard to clean this stuff. Okay, I think we've cleaned the entire exterior. Let's just check every element out in the boondocks of the home, because it looks like there's some garbage out here. We don't want to leave it out. That's why we will gladly explore the premises of the property, the perimeter of the property, rather. That looks like the only flub. Apparently people on the moon are freaking slobs! Well, once you don't have to worry about suffocating to death outside, you tend to let a lot of other things slide. Alright, kitchen's gotta get cleaned. still something back there. There we go. This looks like an office of some sort. This is back outside. A big cleanup. So far there isn't much to this place other than the facility being the way it is. What's in here? Ah, the crepier. The AC. Fancy. Strange doors for your crapper, not gonna lie. I guess they were trying to keep with an aesthetic, and I have a feeling that that would conflict with the aesthetic. Just get this off the floor. Okay. Nothing here. Okay. I think we've cleaned up the whole place. I mean, the question still stands. What would we actually improve here? I guess put some paint up, but, I mean, it ruins the way it looks. It looks great. Why would I want to ruin the aesthetic here? So, yeah, I mean, I guess this is kind of nice and refreshing between the McCallister house and the moon. It's nice to not have to remodel the whole thing and just enjoy the visuals. I mean, I would hate to paint this. And it's like, what else can we do? We can't improve the exterior or anything. It's kind of fixed. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, there's not much I could think of worth doing here. We've done pretty, it's a nice looking home. But that would actually really conclude this playthrough. So let me just say this, guys. It's been quite the adventure. At least cleaning in every house in the game, on top of these last two, and the DLC stuff being kind of just walkthroughs. The ability to not want to change much being primarily important, because why would you want to mess with the layouts? It's almost like the DLC is almost not worth it to a degree if you don't get to really build and expand upon it, which you do with the HGTV expansion, and you do with the gardening expansion. So all the free ones are really just looking around, and then these final few are, I think, really just here for you to just enjoy what they've done. Because some of this furniture I don't think is available to us, like this stuff. I know this AC unit is not available to us. These desks and chairs are. These beds, I believe, are. So there are some elements of this that are available, or if not all of the elements, but the ceiling, I think the floor is available to us, but the exterior, all that stuff is new, is unique, and I mean, so all the furniture in here, I believe, is available to us, is even the doors. But it's like we can't really expand upon this, and there's not much of a reason to change anything. So, like I said again, I don't see a reason for us to do anything more. And so, with that said, we're gonna submit a garden contest. American. We got something for the layout. Okay, but we didn't get anything in general. So this ran us about that. We made $97,000 on it. Yay. We're gonna negotiate for more for sure. You're on the freaking moon, bro. And there we go. Really just gave it a nice cleaning. But I will say this, and look, we even cleaned the exterior. I will say this, it was a fun adventure. I bet, and my stance on this game is if I would have taken my time through this game, like if I would have just sat down, maybe working on one home once a week, I probably would enjoy this a lot more. Powering through it, I definitely do not recommend. Casual playthrough is better. Same with PC Simulator for that in that regard. I mean, as wonderful as these games are, it's something important to always consider is that if you binge play it, you could lose some of the enjoyment. This game is very therapeutic, in a sense, where if you want, you can take your time, you can remodel as much as you want or as little as you want. You can just clean the houses and flip them, and just repair the basic stuff and then just paint it all white, You could do that. Which is fine. That's the freedom that this game gives you, is you can play it any way you want to. What's interesting still is that there is enough details that you can fiddle with that you are able to, in a sense, you can still enjoy the game and play it the way you want, for as much detail or as little detail as you want. The negative that comes with this game is it's very repetitive. It's there's not enough variation in what you can do. I think some people have even pointed out and argued they would love more freedom in building the home, as much as expanding, how many rooms there are, especially in the early parts of the game where they're all studio homes. They're not studio apartments, they're studio houses, where it's the one bathroom and the main room. It's like that mechanic would flip this game on its head in the best way ever, because now you take these homes that have very little in it and you got to flip them by building more stuff around them. And that would be something that would be appealing, I think, to a lot of people, a lot of players. Maybe in a house flipper too, where you can actually literally construct the house from the ground up, would be nice, amongst other things that you can do. You successfully sold all the houses available in our game. As a reward, you've unlocked the possibility to buy each one again. Thank you for playing. We wish you continued fun, the House Flipper team. And then the home screen just looks completely freaking devastated. But yeah, that's really my stance, is that it's a good game for what it is. I do recommend it for people who are fond of these simulation games where you simulate the idea of, designing home. Is it the best game out there for this? Absolutely. I still strongly think it's due. I don't know why this is in here. We did this house. That's funny. Ha! I guess we got this house for free. And here are all the houses again. So we could even go back and buy the dump house that we live in, which is the first office. all the homes are available to buy again. We have over $4 million, so theoretically you could just make money off of these two until you hit max money. But again, I stand by what I said. The good thing about this game is there is a lot of variety. The HGTV expansion is pretty legit, as is the gardening expansion. The gardening got very repetitive, even more so than the house remodeling. But for the most part, everything was there. This is a pretty solid game from the ground up. It gets a solid recommendation from me. Playway tends to put out either really bad games or pretty decent ones. And this is definitely one of the decent ones that has come out of their lineup. I'd like to see more simulation games in brewing, because there is actually a simulation game called Brewer that's out. And it's okay, but it suffers from a lot of issues. And it would be nice to have a first-person brewing and bartending simulation game. That would be amazing. You run the tap room and you run your brewery as the head brewer. They could totally do it. But yeah, my stance is still the same. This is a pretty solid game for when it was made, which is not that long ago. And I hear they're coming out with Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 that I might have to look at. But yeah, I recommend this game. I give it a solid 7 out of 10 for what it is. Now, and again, I give it that 7 out of 10 because there really isn't anything better. And I stand by that sentiment. There isn't really anything like this out there. The Tenants came out. It's kind of similar, but it's not first person. It's third person looking down mode, kind of. Or rather, it's top down and you edit homes and whatnot for people's appeal. And part of me is curious about that game, and I might look into that one at some point. But until then, I am your host, the RPG Guy. I really hope you enjoyed this semi-minimalistic Let's Play of House Flipper, with the entire game completed. Every quest, every house bought, and the HGTV and Garden expansions all done, as well as every added-on expansion prior to Luxury and Pets, because those are the two expansions that they're working on. I think Pets is actually a free DLC, and then I think the Luxury or Mansions expansion is going to be a paid one. And will I add more episodes then? Much like PC Building Simulator's sports esports expansion, I will consider doing it at some point. Maybe it's just right now it's more about getting variation out there than constantly going on and on and on with one particular game. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, guys. I'm your host, the RPG Guy. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/JackDarcyDoes for more live gaming action. And when we come back, we'll have a new Let's Play of another simulation game of some sort. I don't know which one yet. We'll have to think about it. But I'll let you know soon enough. Thanks for stopping by, guys. We'll see you guys next time.